As the COVID-19 pandemic hit, public health resources were diverted away from other diseases, including TB. In Indonesia and Kenya, community health workers, many survivors of TB, worked overtime to ensure TB services continued. These are their stories.
Okay, as for me, what I definitely did to bring the TB services to the community, I brought the facility to their doorstep, whereby me as a TB champion and CHW, some of the community health workers, we took the screening to the community, whereby a lot of people were brought on care. Now there's this 4-year-old baby, whereby the father normally chases the kid out of the house because that is not his responsibility to take care of that child, and apparently they happen to be on HIV treatment and TB medications as well. So you find that sometimes the child would miss the medication because they don't have food, or because the man doesn't leave food for this woman to prepare food because he says, no, that is an outcast. The kid was born because he or she is not mine. I can't do that. That the responsibility cannot be mine. So he often leaves the house but never gives anything for that. So at times I'm forced, as a TB champion, I'm not on salary by that time. The little hustle, I go outside there and get my own cash, I have to dip down into my pocket and get that money and buy something for them, at least to push them for a week, to avoid the defaulting, the child defaulting from any type of medication, that is HIV and TB medication.
Community health workers spoke of TB communities being worried of being infected with COVID at health facilities.
Many people are saying that they don't want to go to the hospital or health services, especially for TB patients or other patients, because they said they will akan di COVID kan. They are afraid to be pointed as COVID patients. So many people refuse to go there. That's what I heard from people and also from some patients.
A lot of people are afraid to come to the facility because fear of being maybe told you have COVID. So to avoid all that, we used to take the medication. We would pack the medication for each and every person who is supposed to come to the facility at a specific day. We bring the medication to their doorstep, of which
pada saat layanan pandemi COVID-19, kita melihat banyak sekali layanan-layanan tuberkulosis yang beralih fungsi menjadi layanan COVID-19. Sehingga kebutuhan daripada pasien tuberkulosis tidak dapat terlayani dengan baik. Tetapi sekarang kita melihat itu sudah mulai dapat teratasi, layanan-layanan sudah kembali aktif, tetapi kita juga perlu melihat bahwa perbaikan di sana-sini perlu kita lakukan agar layanan ini bisa semakin baik, mudah diakses, ramah terhadap pasien, dan berorientasi kepada kebutuhan pasien.
One, a TB champion. First of all, how do you narrow down a person to a TB champion? This is a patient or a client who had suffered TB before, or who has gone through with a relative who has suffered TB, either a child, a husband, a mother, a father, so they know the sequel of TB, they know how long TB treatment does take, or complications of TB, difficulties during TB, difficulties in terms of accessing TB care.
Menurut saya adanya komunitas sangat penting untuk mendukung eliminasi TBC yang ada di Indonesia, karena sebagai komunitas terutama penyintas TBC perlu untuk mendukung secara psikososial bagi pasien yang sedang menjalani pengobatan saat ini. Dari sisi dramatis itu ya, pasien mengalami mungkin marah, sedih, tapi kami hadir sebagai role model, kami hadir sebagai orang yang pernah terdampak, dan kami hadir untuk bisa memotivasi si pasien agar bisa ikut seperti kami sembuh dari TBC.
Because when people feel unloved or they feel isolated, they will not access care. So all of our efforts and services will not be able to provide the kind of caliber that they can offer if we do not access the care. They really struggle when people or the communities marginalize them. It creates a sense of loneliness. We heard a lot from the TB survivors and how the stigma persists, but it still continues to motivate them to be involved in the fight against tuberculosis.
On TB treatment, what are the signs and symptoms of TB? Early detection means what? And late diagnosis, what are the complications for late diagnosis? What is available as for the government to provide, like the free treatment, free monitoring, free facilitating the patient who have DRTB, multi-resistant TB, how they are facilitated to be able to cater for transport, food, because there's usually money which is set aside monthly for these patients.
WHO Global Tuberculosis Report in 2021 stated for the first time in more than 1 decade that from tuberculosis increased. Compared to 2019, more than 100,000 died from TBC. Otherwise, people treated or given treatment to prevent, TB decreased 18% from 2019 to 41 million TB patients undiagnosed and treated.
I think the lessons we have learned from the COVID pandemic is that let's not medicalize a response. Let's make sure communities are the center of the response. When you're coming up with strategies, when you're coming up with interventions, make sure the community members are meaningfully involved and they are consulted. We saw a lot of failure in the response, and that's an area to learn.
Penyelenggara program itu juga banyak sekali tantangannya, terutama terkait dengan koordinasi, lalu bagaimana juga implementasi program. Layanan yang berkualitas merupakan hak asasi manusia. Pasien tuberkulosis berhak mendapatkan layanan yang berkualitas. Jadi, tugas kami selaku komunitas tuberkulosis untuk memastikan dan mendorong tersedianya layanan yang berkualitas agar mudah dan dapat diakses bagi pasien tuberkulosis. Sehingga eliminasi tuberkulosis 2030 dapat tercapai.
We need to fund and investing more in the backbone of our TB program, which is the healthcare volunteers. We need to fight them to get their mandatory health protections. They need our protection to give the best and give the effective protections and also hope to our TB people with TB. Therefore, we can eliminate TB in Indonesia.